Welcome to this new video tutorial on Angular 15 and 16. So in a last video tutorial, we guys have understand how we can able to create any Angular project and how we can able to run the default project application. Now in this video tutorial, whatever the project files that we got covered, the folders by default it will come, and last time this is how it is going to be shown. This is the default application for our Angular. So in this video tutorial, first we are going to be understood what are the project files and the folder structures that got created for our Angular applications and what is their importance for our project and how to be use them to build the application. Now to understand this, let us get back to the Visual Studio Code, and we have all this data together where we have node module file, we have again a source folder available, Angular JSON, package log, package.json, tsconfig app and tspec.json file. So how to what are these files and how to use for the development? So to understand this, we have segregates these files in a two different level. One level which stands for the beginner, so who are the beginner for the Angular, so which files you have to be focused to write your code, and other level is for the advanced. So advanced level includes a lot of configuration of libraries to be works on a project. So let us say I wanted to install some libraries, or I have to be work on the libraries. Well, in that case, using some advanced options in the files we can able to do, and for beginners, how to write with that codes along with the file structure we are going to be understand. So let us do understood it by one. So here we are. So for the beginners, we have some several files to understand. Kind of we have package.json. Let us open the file and do understand what is this file all about and what kind of scenarios are there. So this is the package.json file, you guys can see. Let me open file. So in this file, all our project dependencies, kind of your name of project, the versions are included, and what are the commands to start, build and test, and also the dependencies, what the default dependencies are required are to be stored at here. Likewise, we have RJX model from node, TC library, node.js file. So all these dependencies along with your file running commands like ng-serve that we have uses to run the application, again ng-build to build the application, and ng-test for testing the application. So all this data is stored in package.json file. Then next to that, we have very important folder where the beginners are going to write the code, that is source folder. So in the source folder, you guys may have a lot of options available. Let us explore that source folder right here. Let me close with this. So I'm going to be explore the source folder, and yeah, as you guys can see, so we have app folder available, asset folder available, index.html file, main.ts and style.css file. Let us do understood from very down to the top level. So we firstly have style.css file. And as I have opened here, so there is no any codes available, but this file is uses for global CSS. Now, what is this concept of global CSS exactly? Global CSS are uses to put your designs or a standard coding format entire to the web applications. So in an Angular, to write your small applications, you can create in a components. Component CSS is a different thing, and if you have any certain kind of, when it comes to the web application, the clients wants any default coding colors or the default font size for entire application, that we can able to fix it in a style.css file. Okay, so the style.css file will be uses for the global CSS applications. Then we have the main.ts file here is to be decide which kind of application will be shown on a first of our web page. By default, the index.html is going to show here. If you open the index.html, see the default HTML code along with one app root file. So this app root is the component that by default created, and in the component, as you guys can see, when I turns into the output, so all these data are there, but when I see my index.html file, all the data is not here available, but that title, then this icon, you guys can see at the top at here, so the same title is going to come, the icon is going to come, all this data coming from here, but from the body sections, as I can see, these data comes from the component. So in that app folder, we have created the component, and in that component, this default data is getting stored. That once also we are going to be checked with that. So if you wanted to apply any favorite icons or something, you can do the changes at here in your icons if you want to. And then we have asset folder. The asset folder is a public folder which is uses to store our website images or web application, any kind of like data, PDF data, or the images data, or a GIF data, you can able to use it here. Then you have the most important folder for the beginners to be get understand, that is what app folder, which is located in source. So in this app folder, again, we have some several files available here, you guys can see. So very first file we will have, that is app.component. But before to this, you should have to understand what is this app exactly here. The app here is a component. Now you may ask the question, what is components and so far? Well, we have separate chapter on this. We will try to understand right there, but for now you can take it as like a single part of your web application, that is a component right here. Like I can develop a login system, so I can create a module called as login, and in my login system I have register component, I have login component, forget password components, and so many things. So to write with this such kind of modules, we are going to create them in a component. So default app component is got created. So we have app.component.css file, which is the CSS for only that component. So if you wanted to apply the CSS for the individual components, then you can write the code at here and you can see that changes on a onboard. Then we have app.component.html. So these app.component.html is the actual code which is showing on a web page. If you wanted to change with that, you can remove an entire code, like I will show you this. So I'm going to remove this entire code, and here in the component file, you don't want to write any HTML code, you can write directly with the stuff. So I just wanted to print the H1, okay, and I'm just going to show this is the Angular framework. So this is the code, I'm going to just save it. So I'm just going to save the code, control yes, and but obvious my server is already running, so it is already compiled. Now let us get back to the output. So you guys can see entire output of the previous one is got removed, and it says this is Angular framework as it's printing in H1. So if I wanted to apply the styles for these components, so I'm going to check with the app.component.css, and here I'm going to say H1. Let us say I wanted to check, so I'm going to say color, and I wanted to print them in a blue. So let us print them in a blue. Again, let us save, and now you guys can see the color is going to be changes. So if you wanted to apply any changes in a component, you can change to that component.html file. Then we have app.component.spec.ts. This is for a testing purpose. I will recommend you to not touch this file anymore, because this is all for the testing the Angular client and server applications. Then we have app.component.ts. This file is acting a backend for your app.component.html. So if you wanted to store any variable from that component.html and to this backend file, then the TS stands for TypeScript file, where we are going to write with the code. For now, we are lefting it empty, and we will see that how the changes are going to be done in the event driven chapter. Then similar to this, we have app.module.ts. This is a default module is got created for our application, and any single application will have this data. This includes what kind of what we can say the libraries that we are required here, what are the declarations of components, what are their names, what are the standard components are required, what is the providers for it, and what is the bootstrap. Well, the bootstrap here stands for which components can be shown when the pages got loaded, and it requires only one component at a one time. So if you have created more than one components, well, I will show you there how to use them in the respective HTML files. Then we have this asset, as we discussed, it's a public folder. So this app folder is where we guys are actually writing with the code. The main.ts file is actually a bridge between your Angular and the HTML. This file is going to load before your page is getting loaded. So this is very important. We are not going to touch for this. So these are the freshers for the beginners to get understand the file structure for your project. Now let us do understand the file structure for the advanced level. In the advanced level, we have some several files called as angular.json, okay, then package -log.json, tsconfig.app.json, tsconfig.json, and tsconfig.spec.json. You just have to be remember this. spec.json file or spec.ts files are used for the testing purpose. We are not going to touch with them. The default testing properties and everything is going to be shown right there. So let us go for first angular.json file. So if I open this file again, this file will store my all project details along with building, TS configuration, styling. So if you wanted to change any single data, like let us say I wanted to change my entire style file, so I will open this file and here I will do the changes, and definitely I'm going to use with this. So this is required for high level applications, so those are there at a scalable level. So if you wanted to do some changes related to your Angular application, related to the style, related to the which page should be occur first, related to the building process, related to the testing process, well, this angular.json file will help you out right there with the implementation. Then we have package-log.json file, and at the same time we have seen package.json file. Well, the package.json and package-log.json file don't have that many changes. Those are very similar to this. Expect one change, and what is that? The package.json file, as I have opened right here, you guys can see it is showing the details of our libraries or the modules those required for my project. Like I required dependencies, kind of animations, forms, compiler forms, and same time also the details of the library of an entire details. You guys can see the package-log.json file here, all the details related to your dev dependencies. Like here, let us open that angular.build model. So this is the version, this is the result, this is integrity, so this is uses for development. Again, the many more dependencies. In short, the in detail explanation or in detail information about your package.json will be stored at package-log.json file. Similar to this, we have the next file available, that is tsconfig.app.json file. So in this file, related to your applications, such as like what is the standard output directory, what are the types of libraries that we are using, where the main file is getting stored, where all the remaining TS files are getting stored. If you wanted to change any single configuration related to the application, so you can go for tsconfig.app.json file. This is for only the TypeScript versions. So if you wanted to change any single configurations right there, you can go and write that changes right here. Then we have tsconfig.json. Again, it is on a similar way. So if you wanted to check with your default execution on a TypeScript, like as a target or a modules or the down level integrations, anything that you wanted to change, like I wanted to I don't want to go for strict mode, then you can able to change that modes of that stricting for your TypeScript file from the tsconfig.json. And but obvious, this tsconfig.spec.json file are uses for the testing purpose of the TypeScript file. So I will not recommend you to change on this file. So for a beginner level, the very important section is the source folder. in the source folder in the app, or any component that we got created is going to be at here, and using this component, using these files, we are going to do the changes. Many more importantly, there is one folder left, that is what, node.js modules. Well, this node.js module, if I extend, so you guys can see some default libraries are there, and using these libraries, by the default, when we are creating a project, these libraries are getting installed for our entire application. So if you have installed any certain other libraries, like let us say I wanted to work with MySQL, or I wanted to work with MongoDB, so I used to install the libraries using npm. Well, that changes are getting done at node.js module file. So these folder should not be changed. Again, all these remaining files, Angular, then package log, package.json should not be changed. Whatever the code that we have to do is on a component at the initial level, as per the content is getting covered, we are going to check with that changes approximately. So if you guys have understand what is are the project structure at the beginner level and the advanced level, please give us the thumbs up. That will be a big motivation for you, for us to create these kind of educational videos for you on a free basis. Again, if you are new to our channel, kindly subscribe to our channel, do share to the needful people, and thanks for watching this video. In the next video tutorial, we will understood what is the components and how to create the components in